Lego fishy people, how you're doing today? Thank you for checking out this video. Normally when I show off my fish, I try to make it toy related in some way and show some action figures or some small sets of Lego or bits and bobs, but we're not doing that tonight. We're just going all out fish, baby, and I love it. So I'm just going to go over each fish tank in this room out here. I have 6 aquariums, 4 main display tanks, and I've got a couple of quarantine tanks. I have got some other fish tanks in another room. I've got a couple of small little planted tanks and another sort of raising tank. I'm not going to show those tonight. We're just going to stick with these main tanks out the back here. I will show the quarantine tanks because I've got some cool fish in there, but let's jump right in and we're just going to go tank to tank, and I'm just going to talk about any changes that might have happened. Now, it's probably been, I would say, since maybe around Christmas was the last time I showed off the tanks, and that's when I set up a new fish tank for my tiger bashirs. When I showed you those fish, they were tiny little babies at around maybe like 3 inches or something, which sounds pretty big for a fish, but for these fish, they're really babies at that size. And yeah, I want to show you the chunky little monkeys they've turned into inside of 12 months. We'll talk about more of those fish when we get there, and they will be last because they're way down there. So let's start up this end. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is a 4-foot aquarium. It is 4 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot high, and this is my Senegal Bashir tank. It's probably not really just a Senegal Bashir tank because I've got several other fish in here, but I really love this aquarium. This looks absolutely fantastic. I have relative success with plant growth. I am not a plant guy. I focus wholly and solely on fish, but sometimes I get lucky and I fluke it and I can manage to grow some plants, and I've got some nice Anubias growing in this tank. And here's one of the Bashirs coming up to say good day, swimming over the top there. Here's another one. He's just sitting down here going, what are you doing, mate? Bloody give me some food, would ya? Now, I used to think these guys were getting a decent size, but when I look at them now, I just think they're so tiny because they're just so small to my tiger Bashirs. But I've got some really cool fish. The thing I love about this tank is just keeping the number of fish species to a minimum. And yeah, it's something I'm really enjoying with this tank. What have I got? I got 1, 2, 3, 4? Yes, 4 types of fish in this tank and some shrimp. So yeah, we talk about how aggressive Bashirs are, and meanwhile I've got shrimp in this tank. I put them in to feed them and they never ate them, and yeah, so now I have shrimp and it's really cool. So this is a Royal Whiptail, and they are starting to get to a pretty good size now, probably half grown, maybe a little bit over half. He's a beautiful, look at that long whip coming off his tail. Isn't he a gorgeous fish? And I've got there up the back there, that's another Royal Whiptail, and then there's a common whiptail in here as well, who's only half the size of these guys, but he's a boss of the whiptails. I can't, oh there he is, he's up the back there, just alongside the heater and the filter pipe. But yeah, beautiful. Oh, there he is. Look at that cheeky little bugger. Isn't he so cute? And I have some Similis cories in here as well. I've had 8 for ages. Little tiny cories when I got them, and they're getting a real good size. Now I had 8, but I just lost one just the other week, so I've got 7 now. And there goes the shrimp. There he goes. Woo! Now, I did have a new addition. So these are African fish, the Bashirs from Africa, and I got another African fish to go with them. I got this African butterfly fish. Check him out. Have a look at this weirdo. And they just hover at the top. It's going to be hard because he's not going to swim under the light for us. If I open the lid, he may think he's going to get fed, and he may, if we're lucky, he may come for a little look-see. And if we can film him, if I can get him up, oh, here he comes. If I can, there we go, have a look at him. What a unique fish. And I'm just gonna film over the top here, and we'll see if we can get him. And you have a look for him. I'll see if I can fool him to think that there's some food. Is he gonna come? Here he comes. Have a look at him from the top. Have a look at that. And you see why they call them butterfly fish? Isn't that cool? That is so cool, isn't it? What a unique fish he is. Doesn't tend to do a whole lot. My mates give me a bit of crap because they just think he's a boring old fish. I think he's fabulous. He's so cool. There he is. Very nice, isn't he? So I'll just close this up. And then we'll move on to the next tank. So here we have quite a big difference here. We go from this tank that's hardly got any fish, you got to sort of look around, and you go to this tank that's just, whoa, hold on. So this is the same dimensions. It's 2 foot wide, 2 foot high, but 6 foot long. So this is a 6 foot by 2x2, and this is my pride and joy tank. Look, I chop and change, which is my favourite tank all the time, but I just love the fish in this tank. This is what this tank's all about. I really struggle with plants in this tank because with this tank I have lights that are more on a blue side because I love blue lights, what it does to bring out the colours of fish, compared to like this tank. You can see a difference in the light there. Substrate, plays a role in what the light looks like as well, but you'll see they're all different. These two actually have the same lights, but then the one down the end is very different again. But if I wanted to grow these plants in here a lot better, and you can see my plants are terrible in this tank, I'd have to start with changing out the lighting. But for me it's all about the fish, and very hard to grow plants in with the fish I've got in this tank as well, because I have a lot of plecos in this tank, and you can see a super red bristlenose up the back. They're going to town on a leaf right now. So yeah, they will munch all plants. Yes, they love it. They have a good old chew. So I'm not going to go through every fish in this tank because it would take a long time. But let's just show some of the highlights. I've got this leopard cactus pleco here. Look at him. How gorgeous. is that fish. He is so fun. He's just changed a lot over the years, where he's gone from a lot of hiding to coming out a lot, and now he's just out all the time. He is just so comfortable in this tank. He's just out. Like, if I make a bit of noise now or something, or sudden movements, he'll probably take off and go on a log, but he's quite happy just to hang out with all the fish now. And yeah, he's quite beautiful. Look at that clown loach. Look at him. Isn't he gorgeous? That is a beautiful looking clown loach. Rainbows, lots of rainbows, angels. Got these beautiful Congo tetras. They're an African tetra with the long fins there. Look at that, that's a beautiful fish. Rainbows, look at these turquoise rainbows, gorgeous. Look at them all waiting for food. Basmati rainbows, red rainbows. Love my rainbow. Love my PNG rainbows more than anything, I guess. Lots of different cories in here. Got some bronze cories, Aldiphi cories. I can't even spit that out. Orange Venezuelan cories. Yeah, mainly the Adelphi cories in here. I think there's 5 or 6 of those. Look at these Denison barbs. They're quite hard to get here in Australia. I don't see them very often, so when I saw these, yeah, I had to grab them. Look at them, they're absolutely gorgeous. And then look at this guy. We've got a big old black ghost knife fish. Look at him. What a wacko. Look at that, what a weird fish. So beautiful. He is fantastic. He's happy just sitting there. He's waiting to smell some food so he can come out and rip in. He is such a pig. When I feed these fish, I'll put in a heap of pellets, drop them down. There'll be a heap of pellets on the floor. All the fish out, all out having a good munch. He just swims out and like a vacuum goes on and just sucks them all up. Every single one of them. So now I've got to put in another lot, and then these fish get munching. He goes away for a while, and then he comes out, sucks them all up again. I've got to put in another lot. He is an absolute guts. It's amazing how much food he can pack away. Yeah, but this is just a hive of activity, this tank. But okay, let's move on. So this is my big tank, and this is a tank that has had the most changes since the last time. And as you can see here, there's nowhere near as many fish in here. Hey!
Hey!
Look who we got. It's Mini Dub.
Hey!
Come out and say hello, did ya?
Yeah.
Cool.
I did.
I'm just showing off all the tanks.
Yeah.
So, got the
That's
big
good.
tank here. So this
Come
tank...
out just in time.
You did. So this tank is 8 foot long. It is 800 deep and, well, so what's that? Almost 3 foot deep and 2 foot high. So yeah, nice big chunky tank. And yeah, so this is all my big cichlids. So, oh, this is a good tank to say. What's your favourite fish out of all my fish, mate?
Big pleco
The
right
big pleco, the big
Right
sailfin pleco. This
Love him.
guy is... I've looked back at my records. I don't have great records going back to the early 2000s, but he could be from 2000 or 2002 at the latest. So he's well over 20 years old.
Yeah, it's way older than me.
Yes, what a beast.
He's old, but he's really cool.
He is.
Like
He's
when you get him
beautiful.
from that side, he's
Oh, look at that. He's gorgeous, isn't he?
I love him. He's my favourite fish.
He
And then my second favourite is shrimp.
Shrimp. He loves his shrimp.
Especially the big ones. I call them king shrimps.
So he's got in the house, we've got some small planted tanks, and he's got some shrimp in there, don't you, mate?
Yep.
So this guy, yeah, old as the hills. Old as the hills. I don't know how long they live for, but he could still be in his prime. Who knows? And he's pushing probably 45 centimeters, maybe a touch more. So he's a good shot. He's not the biggest pleco I've ever seen. But he obviously at this age he's maxed out at that size.
There's the other fish above him.
And that's a Polini. That's a African fish.
And we got the big Oscar on the other side of the
Look
tank.
at the colours on this guy. We got a Rivulatus. He's still pretty much a baby. Brasiliensis, Geophagus brasiliensis. He's gorgeous too. Look at that.
And you got the big,
And then my big boy,
the big Oscar.
my big Ockie.
Really big.
You're my mate, aren't you?
He's in a event
Yeah,
for
my
a long
mate.
time as well.
Yeah, he's getting pretty old now too. He's
Hey, boy.
probably,
Hey.
I don't know. I want to say
Same
8.
age.
I want to say 8.
Oh.
But yeah, this tank's had the most changes. There's some plecos in here too. What are they? L202s. You're not going to see. There's like, where's my finger? Inside that rock there. I don't know if the
Like in
camera
that
will
little,
pick that.
in the little.
Just on the side of that rock, there's one.
Yeah,
and
something
there's
like that.
there's 2 in there.
And sometimes they come out when it's feeding time.
Yeah, they come out when they want to have a feed. Other than that, they're hiding away. Look at this gorgeous boy.
Oh, he looks so cool.
I can hand feed him. He comes up. I can hand feed him and give him a pat. He's such a great fish. But
Checking the camera out.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's
yeah,
up?
have a look at the gob on him. Look at that.
Oh. Yeah, he has a big mouth. Really big mouth.
Yeah, he'll suck on my finger. So the changes in this tank. So I've had a few things going on. I did give a few fish away. I was starting to get in my head that I needed to thin this tank out because eventually my Tiger Bashirs will be going into this tank, and I wanted to thin some of the fish out, but I did have a problem. I did lose some fish. I had a big silver shark in here that just one day just
He's swimming.
did a kamikaze straight into the end of the tank. Heard this whack and come out and he was dead. So I didn't do a real good job of filming him then.
But he was swimming around. His chicken
Yeah,
moved.
there's the Riv.
And
I had a Syndontis catfish in here, featherfin catfish that all from young age had problems with his eyes, kept getting like hazy eyes all the time, end up going blind, and yeah, I lost him. My black belt my black belt started the war and didn't survive, unfortunately. What else did I have here? I lost my big red Severin, which I was really sad about. I love
Whoa.
that fish. There goes one of the
see him
plecos.
bolt?
Yeah,
He's in
just,
the back left of the tank. I just saw him, but boom.
just took off. Well,
straight out of there.
I don't know where he come from. Can we see him?
He's behind all the plants, but he bowls it. He was soon.
Yeah.
Just flying.
Oh, there. Yeah, he's up behind that filter. Not gonna get a.
And we also lost
shot.
the. Who's the other? Have you told them the guy used to live outside in the pond?
Oh, the Saratoga. Yeah, that was years ago, mate. Yeah, lost
Yeah,
my
that
big.
was years ago.
Yeah, it'd be a couple of years now. My big Saratoga, he was 22. Yeah, it'd be 2 years
God.
ago because we got him in 2000 and yeah, he was 22.
2 years ago. Already.
2 years ago, yeah, I know, time flies. Yeah, so yeah, I will be doing a bit of a change in this tank. I'm going to change it up a lot. I'm going to take these plastic plants out. I'm going to put more more logs, more hollow logs in there. I want the Bashirs to be able to, be able to hide in that. I'm a little bit concerned as the fish population in this tank went down, the aggression picked up and fish wanted to establish their territories, and they've got pretty set territories in this tank now. I'm a little bit concerned about putting the tiger Bashirs in here because they're I mean, people say they're not aggressive. That I see an aggressive side in these tiger Bashirs, and they will try and eat anything they will try to eat. But I don't know how they'll go with other aggressive fish that, will just come up behind them and bite them because they're in their territory. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So I may have to change my fish stocking in this tank a little bit as well. I'm not sure how I'm going to go. I don't have the experience of keeping them with cichlids. I don't know if Paul's watching this video. He might be able to give me some tips. I actually thought about giving you a ring, mate, and having a chat and see what you might suggest. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm trying to get them to a nice big size before they go into this tank. But yeah, I'll probably take the fish out, change the scape, put the Bashirs in, and then add these fish back in, and yeah, see what happens there. And then a change up in the layout of the tank will they'll have to establish their territories again. So yeah, but eventually I'll probably just get to where I have the tiger Bashirs, my big pleco, and maybe some Oscars. So, but we'll see how we go with that. So let's go on and show these tiger Bashirs.
These guys.
Have a look at this chunky bastard.
Massive.
Crikey. Have a look at that. I'm actually starting to run out of room on my camera. God damn it. Have a look at him. From those little tiny babies that I was feeding little pieces of fish off the end of tweezers. They were that tiny, and now look at the size of him. He is chunky. So they are almost a foot long. So this is the big boy, but they're both big. So this one's always been really girthy, but the other one's starting to fill out a lot too. So there's the other one, but this one's actually a bit longer. So he is he is almost a foot long. We'll come around here.
Right, I'm gonna go back in now.
All right, see you, mate. Thanks for coming out and saying hello.
See you, YouTube.
I see you, YouTube.
Have fun with the fish. See ya.
See you, mate. So there's the other one there. Are you going to be camera shy? look at this tank though. To when I started, look at this Balbitis. So talk about growing a plant. Whew, this thing was a fraction of that size I put in. I might even try and put some other footage in the show. And look how lush it is. I love that plant. And these guys love the sand and love the plants. Like things you miss out on if you just have a bare bottom tank. Like these guys will bury themselves in the sand and they love just laying in the plants. They'll lay up on the leaves here and they'll just lay in the fern. Look at him. Here he is. Oh, he's not going to lay, he's going to come back out again. What a tank. What a tank. So from tiny babies to almost a foot long in 10 months. These guys are, I love these fish. They are just amazing. I'll try and cut some footage in with them feeding. Like they're just, I could watch these guys all day. They are fascinating fish. And yeah, I've got 2 minutes left, so let's just quickly go down. Here is the quarantine tanks. So eventually this tank up here will have these angels. I've got these blue angels here. So they're very nice. I had these I got them little tiny, they're like size of a 5-cent piece, and they're starting to get good size. I've got to get them out of this tank and into a bigger tank. And then I've got all these neons here, and these neons will be going in the Senegal Bashir tank, and there's 20 in here. I want to put like 40 of them in there. I think they'll look fantastic. And there is an albino pleco in here as well, and he's going to come out of here soon too, and put him in a bigger tank, and eventually he'll go in with these tiger bashirs in the big tank. But he's in this tank because he was in here, but these guys tried to eat him, and he was bigger than them, and they latched onto his head and tried to eat him so bad they actually took one of his eyes out. Yeah, you little bastards, aren't you? But they will just try, and if they can fit it in their mouth, they will eat you. But aren't they fascinating? They are absolutely fascinating. What a monster. I'll put my finger up there and just to show you how big they are. It's hard to get a gauge, but this is going to cut out any minute, so I'm going to wrap it up. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate you showing interest in my fish. I love showing them off. I don't get to show them off to people enough. So yeah, big thank you for checking out the video. Belt it in the comments below. What's your favourite fish? What'd you love to see here? What fish have you got? Put it all in the comments and let's have a chat. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.